Yeah, boy. You know what time it is when you hear the funky music? It's a former NFL offensive lineman, now a Fox Sports Radio weekend superstar, our man Ephraim Salaam. What up, bruh?
What's happening, brothers? How y'all doing?
Good, man. Good to have you on. All right, let's get to some college football before we get to the NFL. Ephraim, I saw TCU beat Michigan. I think Michigan, blew it, but still, they won. Ohio State almost beats Georgia, which had lost to Michigan, right? How does
Yep.
something like last night happen?
Reality sets in. When you have a team like Kirby Smart has at Georgia, the level of athletes that they have, and there's no question. I mean, we saw how they dominated the draft, especially on the defensive side of the ball last year. But how do you replace all those guys with top-tier juniors and sophomores, and you just re-up? They've consistently had the number one defense in college football for the last few years. And when you come close to a field goal kicker missing the field goal to not defend as champions, that's a reality check. So that conversation after that Ohio State game was a real conversation with Kirby Smart and his team. And the results of that conversation and practice was what we saw last night.
Nah, that's fair. A wake-up call.
Well, was it the layoff? You used to playing every week. You have a big layoff between, the last game of the season and then playing in the playoff. Could that have been it against Ohio State? You know what I mean? Well, you're rusty.
Well, I don't think they took Ohio State serious. I really don't. I think they thought they could show up and it was just going to go like it's been going all year, and that wasn't the case. And it happens. It happens to really good teams. Somebody it's more on the line for somebody else wants it more, and they step up and they take it from you. And I'm telling you, if that kicker didn't bring in 2023 with a shank of a field goal, we'd be having a different conversation right now.
Rob and I differ on this. I like the 12-team playoff. Rob doesn't. He thinks they should keep it at 4, and he thinks last night was just an example of how we're just going to see a ton of blowouts. I think we'll see some good, exciting games leading up to the championship.
I just can't.
And maybe a good championship game. What are your thoughts?
I don't think there's not 12 teams deserving of competing for a national championship. When you start to get to teams with 3 and 4 losses, what are we doing, right? Like, what
it's
is
just a money grab, Ephraim.
That's exactly right. And so, because of the greed, you're starting to chip away at the integrity and the accomplishment of being one of the top teams. 1-2 losses, right? Give me 8. All right, give me 8. Give me 6. Right? But 12, I can't see. If you look at the top 12 right now, after 8,
USC is 12. USC is 12.
Yeah,
they gave up 50 points a game. They couldn't stop anybody.
What are we doing, right? Like, so now we're just adding more money. We're adding more games to these young men's careers, right? Are we cutting back on the regular season? Are we going to limit the regular season to 10 games? Get rid of some of those.
No, they're paydays. They're not getting rid of.
Exactly. But so this is what I'm saying. If you're willing to make 12 teams continue to play after, that means certain teams are going to have 15, 16 games. That's the NFL season. What are we doing?
The games are increasing. All right, let's get to the NFL. You mentioned it. Dallas tried to play their best players and got destroyed by a Washington team that didn't even, they sat several of their top guys. I just think Dallas, Ephraim, is so inconsistent. I think it's an immature, silly franchise because of Jerry Jones. And I think they're going to go to Tampa and get beat. Not that they're not better than Tampa, but I just think that they're liable to lay an egg. And so what are your thoughts on Dallas?
They're 100% a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers across the board.
Right.
But I'm with you. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys will go to Tampa and beat a Tom Brady-led Buccaneers team. And I'm not saying Tom Brady-led Buccaneers team in the fact that, Tom Brady had an outstanding year.
Right.
I mean, we watched Tom Brady just middling along through the regular season, and finally the last few games, he found some type of synergy with throwing the ball down the field. I mean, it's been awful watching between him and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. I want to throw my TV out of the window. But what I'll tell you this, and we all know this, and we've seen it for 20 years, the second season Tom Brady is not the first season Tom Brady. It's second season, meaning the playoffs.
I can't see the Cowboys losing to them. I'm going to be on the record here. Tampa Bay, I get it. You're looking at the history, and I give all the stuff you're talking about history-wise is correct. If the Dallas Cowboys, with the talent they have, lose to the Tampa Bay Bucks, then Jerry Jones should sell the franchise or I don't know what else you got to have. What else you got to – they got running. They got a dynamic defensive player. They have a middle-of-the-pack quarterback. Like what the Tampa Bay had a losing record. They were not good all year. I'm just saying. I
agree.
I believe – I hear the reason why you don't trust the Cowboys. I don't trust them. But in this case, I don't believe they're going to lose to Tampa Bay. Let me ask you this. Go ahead. I want to ask you a different question. You want to say something?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You got
okay.
It.
The other thing is Sean McVay, and we're going to talk about this in later on in the show. But if I'm the Rams, I mean, like you threw everything in the kitchen sink for him. You did everything for him to try to make him a winner, and now he's going to exit stage right. Like how is that?
He came. He got you a championship. Is what you wanted, correct? That's what you wanted. That's what we play for. You brought him in. You made all the changes to get a championship. You're 1 year removed from a championship, not even a full year. So can he exit and be like, hey, thank you? And they say, hey, no, thank you, right? We brought we brought a championship back to the Los Angeles Rams, right? The consolation prize is someone like Sean Payton, right? Like, I mean, hey, go ahead, man. Hey, take this money. Enjoy your broadcast career, your beautiful wife.
Sean Payton is not taking that job. They got no draft picks.
We don't know that.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'll be stunned if he takes that job. They have
you've
nothing.
You've been stunned before. This is nothing out of the ordinary.
I would be stunned. I'm not buying into that.
Well, I mean, you saying you'll be stunned, that doesn't make me be like, oh, maybe not. I mean,
no way does he take that job. How's that? No way.
Why? Tell me why.
Because they have nothing. They have no draft picks. They have a quarterback who's hurt. Why would he take that job? It doesn't make sense, Ephraim. They have nothing.
Is coming back. The quarterback isn't. He didn't.
He's hurt. He's been beat
lose
up.
His legs. What?
Ephraim, let me ask you this. Best landing spot for Derek Carr next year. Where'd you like to see him?
Ooh, Derek Carr, probably, I would say Washington. I think Derek Carr, if he gets to Washington with those weapons, that defense, what he needs is a real defense. They got young, energetic weapons. They were a quarterback away in a division that was fighting the whole time, the NFC beast. I think if you put Derek Carr with the Washington Commanders, then we're having a different conversation next year this time.
I like him with the Jets, but it would be wise to go to the NFC. I hear you on that. So
yes, you don't want to.
Right?
You got to get up out of the AFC, man.
Absolutely.
They got something going on over there, quarterback. Something in the water over there, man.
Right. That's our man, Ephraim Salaam. Great stuff as always, brother. Thank you.